The stars stretched endlessly around the Varelian starship, the Elythra. 30,000 years had passed since they last visited Earth, and now the vast blue planet below shimmered like a jewel against the dark void of space. Captain Thal stood at the observation deck, his 6 eyes scanning the familiar world he had once known. Yet something felt wrong. Where is it? Thal muttered, his voice echoing faintly in the quiet chamber. Where is what, Captain? Asked Jilra, his second-in-command, her voice calm but tinged with concern. The ship. Our ship, our starship. It was supposed to be waiting in orbit. How can it just vanish? Thal's tone carried disbelief. For the Varelians, precision and order were sacred. To lose a ship, even their own, was almost unthinkable. The Elythra hummed softly, its engines idling as the crew prepared for descent. The planet below was alive with color, forests stretching like green oceans, deep rivers cutting silver paths through the land, and clouds swirling in thick patterns across the surface. But the cities, once glittering monuments to human civilization, were gone. In their place, ruins and strange formations lay scattered. Perhaps the planet changed while we were away, Jilra suggested. 30,000 years. Entire species can rise and fall in that time. Thal did not answer. He focused on the scans of the surface. There were faint energy readings, flickers of power in places humans once called cities. Yet the patterns were not familiar. Not Varelian. Something else had shaped them. Prepare the descent pods, Thal ordered. We need to see the surface for ourselves. The crew moved with practiced precision. Pods detached from the Elythra and began their silent journey through the atmosphere. The Varelians were cautious. Their sensors detected life forms moving far below. These humans, or whatever had evolved from them, were far different from the ones the Varelians had studied millennia ago. As the pods broke through the clouds, the landscape revealed itself in greater detail. Towering forests had reclaimed vast cities, and rivers had carved new paths over ruins of concrete and steel. Mountains that had once been mined and shaped by humans were now untouched, wild, and untamed. Thal felt a pang of nostalgia mixed with unease. Earth had changed in ways the Varelians had not expected. Captain, one of the crew, Lauren, spoke, pointing to a shimmering dome in the distance. That looks like some kind of structure, but it is not like any human city we remember. Thal nodded, eyes narrowing. Indeed, whatever lives there, it is strong, intelligent, possibly dangerous. Keep your scanners on full alert. We are not here as conquerors. Observation only. The pods touched down in a clearing near the dome. The ground beneath was soft and springy, yet stable. Varelian boots sank slightly into the soil, and tiny sensors were immediately deployed to monitor the environment. The air smelled fresh, tinged with minerals and growing plants. A sound like a hum vibrated faintly through the ground. Life here is abundant, Jilra whispered, her eyes scanning the forest. And it feels connected, almost as if the planet itself is alive. Thal's 6 eyes widened slightly. Yes, this is unlike any ecosystem we've encountered. Earth, it has changed, but not by natural means alone. Something intelligent has shaped this, something we must understand. Suddenly the hum intensified and a shimmer of light passed across the clearing. Shapes emerged, tall, graceful figures moving with purpose. Humans. But these were not the humans the Varelians remembered from 30,000 years ago. They were taller, leaner, with skin tones that blended with their environment. Their eyes glimmered with intelligence and their movements were precise, almost fluid. One figure stepped forward holding a device that projected a soft light. It scanned the Varelian pods but made no aggressive move. Thal stepped forward, raising his hands in the universal sign of peace. I am Captain Thal of the Varelian expedition, he said clearly. We come in observation, not in war. We have returned after many millennia. The human's eyes narrowed, but the figure did not attack. Instead, a calm voice echoed through the clearing, translated by Varelian sensors. You have returned, the human said, but your ship is not where you left it. Thal's pulse quickened. You know about our ship? Yes, the human replied. It was moved for safety long ago. You will see it when we are certain you are not a threat. The Varelian crew exchanged uneasy glances. 30,000 years ago they had left Earth thinking the humans were primitive. Now it was clear that humans had evolved far beyond what the Varelians had imagined. Why? Hide it? Thal asked cautiously. We left peacefully. The human paused, then said, Time changes everything. Trust must be earned. Thal nodded slowly. He felt both awe and unease. The humans were not only capable of hiding their technology, They were capable of creating entire ecosystems that could defend themselves. Earth had grown stronger in their absence, and the Varelians were now the outsiders. "Prepare a perimeter," Thal ordered. "We do not know what we will face next." As the crew followed his orders, the humans moved back, their devices scanning silently. Thal realized that this was a delicate moment. One wrong step, one sign of aggression could lead to conflict. But another thought filled him. Perhaps this was an opportunity. Humans, so long underestimated, might become valuable allies or dangerous rivals. The clearing was quiet for a few moments. The wind rustled through the tall trees, and the faint hum of energy pulsed beneath their feet. Thal felt a strange mix of fear and admiration. This planet, once familiar, was now a mystery. And these humans, once considered simple, had become something extraordinary. "Captain," Jilra said softly, "they are watching us. Every movement we make, every decision, they know. We must be careful." Thal's gaze hardened. "Yes, we observe first, learn, understand. Only then will we act." The human figure finally gestured toward the forest path. "Follow," the voice said. "We will show you the way. But know this, Earth is no longer yours to command. It belongs to those who protect it." Thal nodded, a mixture of curiosity and respect stirring in him. Then we walked carefully and with respect. As the Varelians followed the humans into the forest, the pods left behind, they noticed the subtle signs of human ingenuity everywhere. Trees that glowed faintly, plants that seemed to shift their leaves to create patterns, small animals that moved with synchronized precision. Earth was alive in a way that no scan could fully explain. For the first time in millennia, Thal understood the depth of what they were witnessing. The humans had not only survived, they had adapted, evolved, and thrived. The Varelians, who once believed themselves superior, now faced a species that challenged every assumption they had held. And deep within the forest, hidden from view, the missing Varelian ship waited. A test had begun, one that would reveal whether the Varelians could earn the trust of Earth or leave empty-handed. Humbled by the very species they had once observed as lesser beings, Thal took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. The journey that had begun 30,000 years ago was about to reach a new chapter, one filled with mystery, challenge, and perhaps, if they were wise, friendship. The forest seemed to whisper around them, alive with anticipation. And above, in the dark expanse of space, the stars waited patiently, watching the return of the explorers who thought they knew Earth. The forest was alive in ways the Varelians had never imagined. Every leaf seemed to shimmer with faint energy. Every breeze carried the subtle hum of life. Captain Thal and his crew followed the human guide, moving carefully through winding paths that twisted between massive trees and strange glowing plants. The humans did not speak much, but each step was deliberate, as if they could sense the Varelians' intentions without words. "Captain," Jilra whispered, scanning the surroundings with her sensors. "There is technology hidden in the forest. It's unlike anything we studied before. Organic, yet controlled. It seems almost intelligent." Thal's 6 eyes narrowed. "Yes, I feel it too. This is not just survival. Humans have shaped the environment itself to work with them. Entire systems hidden in plain sight." As they walked deeper, they came upon a clearing dominated by an enormous crystalline structure. The structure pulsed faintly with blue light, and strange geometric patterns ran across its surface. Thal's sensors went wild. Energy readings far surpassed anything the Varelians had expected from humans. "What is this?" Lauren asked in awe. "It looks alive." The human guide raised a hand. "This is a memory center," the voice said. "It records knowledge, experiences, and even history. It connects with those who know how to read it." Thal stepped closer cautiously. "And humans know how to read it?" The guide nodded. "Some do, most cannot. But those who can understand the flow of time, the patterns of energy, and the choices that shape the planet." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. The humans were no longer primitive. They were something more. Guardians, perhaps, of Earth itself. "Observe carefully," Thal whispered. "Do not touch anything yet. This is far beyond what we anticipated." As they moved forward, faint shapes appeared in the distance, buildings rising from the ground, not constructed from metal or concrete, but from living materials. Walls shifted like vines, forming patterns that changed over time. Windows glowed softly, revealing glimpses of movement inside. Humans lived there, moving with purpose, interacting with the structures as if the buildings themselves responded to their thoughts. "Captain," Jilra said quietly, "they've integrated with the planet. Their cities are part of Earth, and Earth is part of them. This is incredible." Thal nodded, but unease remained. "Yes, and it is dangerous. We are strangers here. Every step we take could be seen as a threat." The human guide suddenly stopped. The clearing ahead opened into a large valley, where dozens of humans were gathered around a glowing pool of water. The pool pulsed with energy, and as the Varelians watched, it formed images, visions of humans from the past, present, and perhaps even the future. "This is a history mirror," the guide explained. "It shows the story of our species, the choices we made, and the lessons we learned. It is a warning, a reminder, and a guide." Thal felt a wave of respect wash over him. Humans had preserved knowledge in ways the Varelians had never imagined. They had taken the lessons of their past and built a future that even the aliens had underestimated. "Why did you hide this?" Thal asked. "Why not leave it open to the stars, to anyone who returned?" The guide's eyes glimmered. "Because knowledge is power, and power must be used carefully. We have survived not by fighting, but by learning, adapting, and protecting. Your return changes nothing unless you prove you are not a threat." Thal turned to his crew. "Observe. Learn. This is our chance to understand what humans have become." As the Varelians watched, one of the humans approached the pool and placed a hand on the water. Images shifted, showing conflicts, natural disasters, and the slow evolution of human society. But the humans did not just survive, they thrived. They created systems that healed the land, nurtured the forests, and protected the rivers. Every challenge was met with intelligence, creativity, and resilience. Jilra's voice trembled slightly. "Captain, they are far beyond what we imagined. They are not primitive, they are exceptional." Thal's mind raced. 30,000 years ago, humans had seemed limited. Now they were a species that could challenge even the Varelians. And yet there was no immediate hostility. The humans watched carefully, ready to act if necessary, but they did not attack. The guide led the Varelians to a nearby hill, where a massive tree stretched high into the sky. Its trunk was wide enough to house hundreds of humans, and its branches shimmered with energy that flowed like rivers. "This is our council tree," the guide explained. "Decisions for the planet are made here. It is connected to every living thing on Earth." Thal's crew scanned the tree, their sensors revealing networks of energy, data, and life force. The humans had integrated their minds with the planet, creating a symbiotic relationship that enhanced both species. "Captain," Lauren said, "they can sense us, not just our presence, but our intentions. Every movement, every thought is visible to them if they choose." Thal nodded, feeling the weight of their presence. "Then we must tread carefully. Curiosity alone cannot guide us. Respect must." As they walked around the council tree, a sudden tremor shook the ground. A flock of birds, unlike any the Varelians had seen, took to the air, their feathers glinting with energy. The humans stood firm, their connection with the planet allowing them to remain calm. "It is a test," the guide said. "The planet itself is alive, and it watches all who enter. If your hearts are pure, it will not harm you. If not, you will face consequences." Thal felt a chill. They had come expecting to observe, but now they understood that Earth was no longer a passive world. Every step, every action was observed, judged, and recorded. The humans were not the only guardians. The planet itself was alive, aware, and protective. "Captain," Jilra said softly, "this changes everything. We cannot simply take our ship and leave. We must earn their trust." Thal looked at the humans around him, and then at the glowing valley, the shimmering pool, and the massive council tree. "Yes," he said, his voice firm. "We came to observe. Now we must also learn. We must understand what Earth has become, or we risk underestimating a species far beyond our calculations." The human guide stepped forward. "If you wish to understand, you must follow. There is more to see. But remember, every choice matters. Earth does not forgive recklessness." As the Varelians followed, the forest seemed to open before them, revealing hidden paths, glowing bridges, and secret chambers filled with living technology. Every step was a lesson, every sight a revelation. They realized that humans had mastered not just survival, but evolution itself. Thal felt a mixture of awe and humility. The humans of Earth were no longer the creatures he had once studied. They were innovators, protectors, and visionaries, And in their absence, Earth had grown stronger, wiser, and more beautiful than the Varelians had ever imagined. For the first time in 30,000 years, the Varelians understood that their return was not a homecoming. It was a challenge. To earn the trust of Earth, they would need patience, respect, and humility. And deep in the shadows of the forest, unseen eyes watched their every move. Not all humans had revealed themselves yet. Some waited, testing the aliens, gauging their intentions. The true nature of Earth's guardians would reveal itself only to those who proved worthy. Thal's heart beat faster. This was only the beginning. The forest, the humans, and the mysteries of Earth stretched out before them. A puzzle more complex and beautiful than anything the Varelians had ever encountered. And in that moment he realized that the planet had a story to tell. A story of resilience, intelligence, and the power of evolution. The Varelians had returned. But Earth was no longer the world they remembered. And the lessons they were about to learn would change the course of their mission forever. The Varelians moved carefully through the glowing forest, following their human guide. Every step revealed more of Earth's incredible transformation. Plants pulsed with life. Vines shifted to create natural pathways, and energy rippled through the ground as if the planet itself was alive. Captain Thal could feel it, a presence that was powerful, intelligent, and unyielding. "Captain," Jilra whispered, scanning the area. "The humans are everywhere. Their energy patterns. It's as if they can see us even when we think we are hidden." Thal's 6 eyes narrowed. "Yes, they are aware of our presence, but that does not mean they intend to attack. Yet, we must remain cautious." The group emerged into a wide valley. In its center, dozens of humans were gathered, tall and imposing, with eyes that gleamed with intelligence. Some were interacting with structures that seemed to respond to their thoughts. Energy fields surrounded them, creating shields that bent light and air around them. It was clear that these humans were not only advanced, they were extraordinary. The human guide stopped and turned toward Thal. "You are no longer in the world you knew. These are the protectors. They guard Earth, and now they guard it from you as well." Thal raised his hands, a universal sign of peace. "We do not come to harm. We return only to observe and understand. We seek no conflict." A tall human stepped forward, his presence commanding. His eyes glowed faintly as he studied the Varelians. "Return," he said slowly, his voice calm but firm. "You left 30,000 years ago. You do not return lightly." "I am Captain Thal of the Varelian expedition," Thal said. "We left Earth peacefully. We return in peace. Our ship is missing, and we seek understanding." The human studied him for a long moment. Then, without warning, energy pulses shot from the ground, forming a barrier between the Varelians and the humans. Thal immediately recognized the defensive measure, but it was unlike anything he had seen. It bent around them, shimmering and shifting as if alive. "Do not approach further," the human said. "Trust is not given. It must be earned. Step forward and you will face consequences." Jilra stepped beside Thal, her voice tense. "Captain." "They are prepared for combat. Their technology, organic, integrated, and intelligent, is beyond our expectations." Thal nodded slowly. "We must stay calm. Observe. Learning begins now." A subtle hum filled the valley. Trees shifted slightly, revealing more humans concealed within their branches. Every human carried devices that were extensions of themselves. Living tools, weapons, and communication systems, all intertwined with their bodies. The Varelians realized that the humans had integrated fully with the planet. They could manipulate energy, control structures, and even influence the environment around them. One of the humans, a woman with flowing silver hair, stepped forward and spoke. "We know who you are. We have observed your return, but knowledge alone does not grant permission to reclaim what you once left behind." Thal's heart pounded. They had expected confusion, perhaps suspicion, but not this level of preparedness. The humans were not just advanced, they were vigilant, strong, and united. "Captain," Lauren said quietly, "they've trained for threats like us. Every move we make is being studied. This is unlike any challenge we have faced before." Thal took a deep breath. "Then we must demonstrate our intentions clearly. We are here to learn, not to fight." The tall human from before tilted his head. "Learning is not enough. Actions matter. The ship you seek is not ours to give freely. It was hidden to protect it, and perhaps to protect you as well." "Protect us?" Thal asked, confused. The human's eyes softened slightly. "Earth has changed. Humans have changed. Time has made us strong. If your hearts are not aligned with the balance of this world, your ship will not be returned. We cannot take risks, not for you, not for Earth. A tense silence fell over the valley. The Varelians studied the humans, noting their discipline, coordination, and the faint glow of energy that flowed through them. They were powerful but not aggressive, unless provoked. Suddenly, one of the humans stepped forward and extended his hand. A holographic projection appeared, showing Earth from above, its cities alive with energy and activity. "Look," he said. "This is what we protect. This is what has grown in your absence, and this is why we cannot allow unmeasured interference." Thal studied the projection. He realized that the humans had created an ecosystem of intelligence and technology that blended perfectly with nature. Cities were alive, forests were organized with purpose, and even the rivers and mountains had been guided by human ingenuity. The scale of their achievement was staggering. "They've created harmony," Jilra whispered. "Humans and Earth, working together." "Yes," Thal said slowly. "And they are far beyond what we expected. We underestimated them. 30,000 years, and Earth has become a world we cannot ignore." The tall human spoke again. "We will not fight you yet, but you must understand that trust is earned. To gain access to your ship to move freely on Earth, you must demonstrate your intentions. Only then will the guardians of this world allow you to proceed." Thal nodded. "We understand. We are willing to learn. Show us what is required." The humans exchanged glances, then moved aside, opening a path deeper into the valley. "Follow," the tall human said. "You will see more of Earth's guardians and the systems we protect. But know this, every action is observed. Every choice has consequences." As the Varelians walked, they noticed the subtle signs of human adaptation everywhere. Birds that glowed faintly with energy, small animals that moved in perfect coordination, and plants that shifted to provide shelter or guide movement. Earth itself seemed alive, and humans were part of it, its minds, its guardians, and its protectors. "This is remarkable," Lauren said, scanning the surroundings. "They've turned the planet into a living network. Intelligence flows through everything here, every tree, every stone, every river. And humans are at the center of it." Thal's eyes narrowed. "We must proceed carefully. Observation alone will not be enough. We must show respect, patience, and understanding." As they approached another clearing, a group of humans demonstrated their abilities. They manipulated energy fields to lift massive stones, redirect water, and even change the path of wind. The Varelians watched in awe. These humans could not only survive, they could control, shape, and protect the world with their will and knowledge. "They are incredible," Jilra said softly. "Stronger, faster, and more intelligent than any species we have encountered. And yet, they choose restraint." Thal felt a deep sense of respect. "This is what true strength looks like," he said. "Not in domination, but in protection, in intelligence, and in the courage to preserve life." The human guide approached again. "You will face tests," he said. "Challenges designed to show us your intentions. Some will be physical, some will be mental, some will require cooperation. Fail, and your journey ends here." Thal nodded. "We accept. We seek only understanding and peace." The guide's eyes glimmered. "Then follow and learn. Earth will judge you not by your words but by your actions, and the guardians of this planet will decide if you are worthy." As the Varelians followed, the forest seemed to shift around them, opening paths, revealing hidden chambers, and guiding them toward the first test. Every step was measured, every action observed. The humans' vigilance and intelligence were unmatched, and the Varelians realized that they had entered a world far beyond what they had expected. Thal's heart beat faster. This encounter was more than a test, it was a revelation. Earth was alive, humans were extraordinary, and the Varelians' assumptions about the planet and its inhabitants had been completely overturned. And as the shadows of the forest moved with life and intelligence, Thal understood one undeniable truth. The humans of Earth were no longer a species to study from afar. They were a force to respect, to learn from, and perhaps, to follow. The Varelians followed their human guides deeper into the forest, each step revealing more of Earth's astonishing transformation. The air hummed with energy, carrying a faint warmth that seemed alive. Thal's sensors recorded data at an unprecedented rate, yet even technology could not fully measure what they were witnessing. "This world, it is more than alive," Jilra whispered, her 6 eyes wide. "It reacts, adapts, and protects itself." The humans are part of it, but it is also greater than them. Thal nodded, feeling the truth of her words. They had expected ruins, perhaps simple technology. Instead, they found a planet that had grown intelligent, a species that had evolved to coexist and shape it. Every tree, every stone, every flowing river seemed connected to the humans in ways that defied Varelian science. The guide led them to a hidden valley, surrounded by mountains and dense forests. In its center, an enormous crystalline structure rose from the ground like a natural monument. But it pulsed with energy and moved subtly, almost like a living creature. This, the guide said, is the core. It is the center of our knowledge, our history, and our connection with Earth. Here, we store the wisdom of our species and the planet itself. Thal stepped closer, fascinated. And you are connected to it? The guide nodded. Some of us are. The core allows those who are trained to interface directly with it. It shares memories, data, and understanding. It teaches patience, foresight, and harmony. Through it, we know the planet, its life, and the balance needed to maintain it. As the Varelians watched, a human stepped forward and placed their hands on the pulsing crystal. Energy flowed from the core into the human, and their eyes glimmered with light. Images appeared in the air around them, maps of Earth, the rise and fall of civilizations, the growth of forests, rivers, and wildlife. But there were also visions of humans themselves, developing new technologies, solving complex problems, and building structures that seemed to live and breathe alongside nature. 30,000 years ago, the guide said, your species left Earth believing humans were primitive. But in your absence, we evolved. We learned to protect, to adapt, and to thrive. We learned not only to survive, but to grow stronger, smarter, and wiser. Jilra's voice trembled. They've advanced, far beyond what we expected. Their technology, their connection with the planet. It's incredible. Thal's mind raced. We assumed superiority. We assumed observation would be simple. But they have transformed Earth into a living system, an intelligent, self-protecting world. And humans are its core. The guide gestured toward a nearby structure shaped like a massive tree. Its trunk shimmered with energy, and branches stretched wide, supporting entire living platforms where humans worked and studied. These are our centers of learning. Each is alive, each is part of the network. The planet itself teaches those who are ready to listen. As the Varelians approached, they noticed small machines moving like insects. They were semi-organic, with delicate wings and limbs. The devices gathered data, repaired structures, and even interacted with humans, responding instantly to commands or gestures. They've blended biology and technology completely, Lauren whispered. Even the machines are alive, part of their ecosystem. Thal nodded. Yes, they understand harmony in ways we never imagined. This is not domination, it is integration. This is intelligence applied with wisdom. Suddenly, a human stepped forward and spoke directly to Thal. You seek your ship. Know this, it is hidden for a reason. It was moved long ago. Not because we wanted to deny you, but because the planet required it. Time has shown that unprepared visitors can disrupt balance. We protect what must be protected. Thal's eyes narrowed. Then show us. We come in peace. We wish only to learn and understand. The human considered him carefully. To see your ship, you must prove your intentions. You must demonstrate respect, intelligence, and restraint. Only then will Earth reveal its secrets to you. Thal's crew exchanged glances. What kind of test? Jilra asked cautiously. You will see, the guide said with a faint smile. But first, you must understand what we are and how we operate. They were led to a chamber within the massive tree. The walls were alive, shifting with colors and patterns that reflected the emotions and intentions of those inside. The air pulsed gently, and the Varelians could feel a subtle energy flowing through them. This is a living archive, the guide explained. It contains knowledge of our history, our connection to Earth, and our advancements. You will experience it not through words, but through understanding. Those who cannot adapt will find it overwhelming. Thal stepped forward, his mind open, ready to learn. As he touched the walls, he felt data, memories, and energy flow into him. Images of humans exploring their world, discovering new energy systems, and integrating technology with nature filled his mind. He saw how humans had created energy fields that healed the land, transportation systems that moved without harming ecosystems, and living cities that shifted and adapted according to need. They've done all this in 30,000 years? Jilra asked, awe in her voice. Yes, Thal said softly. And more. They have not only survived, they have mastered adaptation. They have become guardians, protectors, and innovators. And we underestimated them. The guide nodded. We have learned patience, observation, and understanding. We have waited for your return, knowing it would bring a choice. Will you act with wisdom, or will you repeat mistakes of the past? Thal's gaze hardened. We will act with respect. We seek only understanding. We recognize your strength and we wish to learn from it. The humans observed him silently for a long moment. Then the guide spoke again. Your words are noted. But words alone are not enough. Actions will speak louder. Follow us and the path will become clear. But remember, Earth watches all who enter. It judges not by intention but by action. As they followed, the forest seemed to open further. Paths revealed hidden chambers. Flowing rivers changed direction to guide them and plants shifted to provide shelter. Energy flows pulsed around them, revealing the deep integration between humans and the planet. This is more than adaptation, Lauren whispered. This is symbiosis. Humans and Earth. They are one. Thal felt a deep sense of humility. The planet he once thought he understood was now a living, intelligent entity. The humans he once considered primitive were now its guardians. Their strength, intelligence, and ingenuity were unmatched. They reached a clearing where a group of humans gathered around a glowing pool. The water shimmered with energy and reflected the sky above. This is the memory pool, the guide said. It holds knowledge, history, and insight. It shows the choices we have made, the lessons we have learned, and the challenges we have overcome. As Thal observed, images of past civilizations, rising and falling, appeared in the water.
Humans use their knowledge to heal the land, grow cities in harmony with nature, and protect life.
They had built energy networks, transportation systems, and defense mechanisms, all integrated with the planet itself. They've grown so much, Jilra whispered. Stronger, smarter, and more capable than anything we imagined. Yes, Thal said quietly. And they are ready to judge us. We must proceed with care, patience, and respect. This is their world. We are visitors. The guide's eyes glimmered. To see your ship, to understand fully, you must learn our ways, respect the balance, and demonstrate your intentions. Only then will the core reveal the secrets you seek. Thal nodded. We are ready. We will act with wisdom and respect. We will learn from Earth and its guardians. The humans moved aside, opening a path toward a hidden valley where faint energy signals indicated the presence of the missing Varelian ship. Thal could feel it. The ship was near, but the journey to reach it required more than technology. It required understanding, patience, and humility. And as the Varelians followed, they realized that their mission had changed. Observation alone was no longer enough. They must earn trust, demonstrate respect, and prove themselves worthy. Earth had secrets, humans had power, and the path forward would test every skill, every decision, and every intention. For the first time in 30,000 years, Thal understood that Earth was no longer a planet to visit. It was a living, intelligent world, guided by humans who had surpassed every expectation, and the lessons they were about to learn would shape the future of both species. The journey to the missing ship had begun, but the true challenge was not finding it. The challenge was earning the right to claim it. The hidden valley lay quiet under the glow of the energy flowing through the forest. Captain Thal and his Varelian crew followed the human guides with caution. Every movement, every breath seemed observed by the planet itself. The Varelians had begun to understand the true scale of human evolution, how deeply they had integrated with Earth, and how powerful they had become. We must proceed carefully, Thal whispered to Jilra. One wrong step could destroy the trust we are trying to build. Jilra nodded. We have seen their strength, Captain. But strength alone is not enough. We must show intelligence, patience, and cooperation. That is what they value. The humans led them to a circular clearing. In the center, a glowing sphere floated above the ground, radiating energy in soft, pulsing waves. The sphere was covered with intricate patterns, shifting and changing constantly. The humans gestured toward it. This is your first trial, the guide said. The sphere represents the balance of Earth and its guardians. You must interact with it wisely. Fail, and you will prove that your presence is a threat. Succeed and you may proceed. Thal studied the sphere carefully. Sensors recorded its energy fields, but every calculation showed an unpredictable pattern. It was alive, intelligent, and responsive. He felt a flicker of apprehension. Even for Virelians, this was unlike any challenge they had faced before. "Captain," Lauren whispered, "it reacts to thought and intention. Physical interaction alone will not work. We must understand it, mentally, emotionally, and ethically." Thal nodded. "Then we proceed together. Observation first, action second." The crew formed a circle around the sphere. They concentrated, focusing on harmony, respect, and understanding. Slowly, the sphere's patterns began to stabilize. Colors shifted from chaotic reds and oranges to calming blues and greens. The energy pulse became steady, rhythmic, almost welcoming. The humans observed silently. Thal realized that the trial was not about power, it was about alignment. The Virelians needed to show that their intentions were pure, that they could respect Earth and its guardians. As the sphere's glow brightened, it extended faint tendrils of energy toward the Virelians. They felt a connection forming, a bond between their minds and the sphere. Images appeared in their consciousness, visions of Earth's past, the humans' growth, and the integration of technology and nature. They saw the care humans had taken to preserve balance and the responsibility that came with power. "This is incredible," Jilra whispered. "It's teaching us, showing us what it values, what we must value." Thal nodded. "We must understand, not just observe. Only then can we proceed." The sphere pulsed one final time, and the humans nodded in approval. "You have passed the first trial," the guide said. "Your intentions show promise, but trials alone do not prove worth. You must face challenges where intelligence, courage, and cooperation are tested under pressure." Before the Virelians could respond, the forest trembled. A distant rumble echoed through the valley. The humans' energy fields flared and the sky darkened. Thal's sensors detected an approaching cosmic anomaly, a cluster of rogue asteroids larger than any he had ever seen, moving toward Earth at incredible speed. "The planet is threatened," the guide said. "Even the Virelian technology cannot stop this alone. You must act. This is your chance to demonstrate cooperation, intelligence, and trustworthiness." Thal's heart pounded. "We accept. Show us what we must do." The humans quickly organized. Some extended energy shields to protect nearby forests, while others manipulated the terrain, diverting rivers and creating barriers. Their coordination was flawless, their understanding of the environment perfect. The Virelians worked alongside them, using their technology to analyze asteroid trajectories and calculate interception strategies. Jilra spoke rapidly, coordinating efforts between humans and Virelians. "We can redirect the smaller asteroids, but the largest ones require combined energy fields. We must synchronize our efforts." The humans nodded. A wave of energy flowed from them, meeting the Virelians' technology. The collision of power created brilliant pulses of light that rippled across the valley. The air vibrated with energy and the ground shook beneath them. Yet despite the danger, Thal felt a surge of hope. Humans and Virelians working together could achieve what neither could do alone. One asteroid, massive and jagged, threatened a nearby settlement. A human named Aaron, the same guide who had first approached the Virelians, moved forward with controlled focus. Energy flowed from Aaron's hands into the ground, creating a redirection field. Thal mirrored the action with Virelian technology, enhancing the force. The asteroid shifted course, narrowly avoiding destruction. "Excellent," Jilra shouted. "Keep the energy field steady." Another asteroid broke into fragments. Humans manipulated wind currents and energy pulses to guide them safely into the ocean. Virelians coordinated from above, using scanners to predict trajectories and adjust fields. Every move required precision, trust, and understanding between the species. Hours passed. The battle was exhausting, but the cooperation between humans and Virelians grew stronger. Each species learned from the other. Humans observed the alien calculations, while Virelians absorbed the humans' intuitive connection with the planet. Finally, the last asteroid passed harmlessly into space. The sky cleared and the valley was still. The energy fields dissipated, leaving behind only the soft hum of the forest. Thal's chest rose and fell with relief. "You have done well," the guide said, approaching. "You have shown intelligence, courage, and cooperation. You have proven that your presence is not a threat. And now..." The guide's eyes glimmered. "The path to your ship is open." Thal felt a surge of gratitude. "Thank you. We have learned much, and we still have much to learn." The humans led the Virelians to a hidden canyon. At its center, partially covered by overgrowth and energy shielding, lay the missing Virelian ship. It gleamed faintly, untouched by time. The crew approached cautiously, awed to see their vessel again after 30,000 years. "Your ship has been protected," the guide said, "not as a prize but as a responsibility. You are now ready to reclaim it. But remember, Earth watches every action. Your choices here matter." Thal's 6 eyes scanned the ship. It looked the same, yet something felt different. 30,000 years had passed. They had returned expecting the familiar. Instead, they found strength, intelligence, and a world that had grown far beyond their expectations. "Captain," Jilra said softly, "we have passed the test. But the lessons of this planet, they will not end here. We must continue learning," Thal nodded. "Yes, observation was never enough. Respect, patience, and cooperation. These are the keys. The humans have shown us that true strength is not in dominance but in wisdom, resilience, and unity." Aaron stepped forward, gesturing toward the ship. "It is yours to reclaim, but remember, the future depends on how you use it. Cooperation between our species will shape the destiny of this world. Will you be allies, or merely observers again?" Thal's heart swelled with determination. "We choose to be allies. We will work with you, learn from you, and protect what you protect. Together we can face the universe with strength and wisdom." The humans nodded. Energy flowed around the Varelians, acknowledging their decision. The forest itself seemed to pulse with approval. For the first time, Thal felt truly connected to Earth, to the humans, and to the immense responsibility that came with knowledge and power. The Varelians boarded their ship. Systems hummed to life, yet the memory of the trial, the cooperation, and the lessons of Earth remained in their minds. They had learned humility, respect, and the true meaning of strength. As the Elithra lifted into the sky, Thal looked down at the forest below. Humans moved among their living cities and structures, guardians of a planet that had become a force in itself. Earth had survived, adapted, and thrived, and now with the Varelians as allies, its potential would expand beyond imagination. "Prepare for departure," Thal ordered. "But remember, we are no longer visitors. We are participants in the story of this planet. Every action, every choice matters." The crew moved with purpose, their hearts and minds forever changed. They had returned expecting a familiar world. Instead, they found a planet alive, a species extraordinary, and a future filled with possibilities that demanded respect, wisdom, and courage. And deep in the forests below, unseen guardians watched silently, ready to respond, guide, and protect. Earth had spoken. The Varelians had listened, and the alliance had begun.